This is house.
It is not recording.
Joseph Caraballo's mother says her son was diagnosed with autism and ADHD from a young age. He was considered nonverbal and had started running from places at 3 years old, something known as eloping. What happened to him on Tuesday was what his mother had always feared.
The first phone call I got was at 4:20 in the evening, and it was told to me that he left the school around 3:35, and that they didn't know where he went, you know, how he got out. And I asked, how did he get out? Because we had, prior to all this, we had a sit-down meeting with the school and signed paperwork and everything, and promised that he was going to have a one-on-one teacher with him that focuses only on Joseph.
Ortiz says her 14-year-old somehow left what was supposed to be a locked special education classroom at Austin High School and ended up on US 54 near Fred Wilson. Police say Joseph ran across the highway and was struck by an SUV. Today, she's still questioning what went wrong.
So he was the one that was going to have a one-to-one para-teacher who stays with him at all times. It was also told to us, which I explained to them, that he had to be held, which means grabbing his hand or his arm, or arm, either way.
Ortiz said school officials assured her that her son was the time Joseph eloped. The second time, Ortiz says he was gone for 7 hours.
And he had an ankle bracelet, which is a tracker to track his whereabouts with Project Lifesaver.
Ortiz says she works with a man in that organization which helps locate people who wander off. She claims when she learned her son was missing, the school refused to call him to try and figure out where Joseph was. While she always feared something like this could happen, Ortiz says she is angry and disappointed with the response from the district and the school. She says her family deserves an explanation they still have yet to hear.
Our family right now is distraught. I'm numb about the situation right now. I'm angry. I just don't understand that this could have been prevented. You expect that when your child goes to school, you're not expecting that he's gonna pass away. He's not gonna be here anymore. You're never gonna hug him, kiss him.
You'll hear more from Jessica later on in the show, but for now, Joseph's mother told us she had warned the school about his tendency to run away and that the district said they would promise a one-on-one supervision for him. ARC El Paso's Mark Baugh reported on how elopement is a known behavior with children with autism, one that can pose some pretty serious risks. Here's what he learned.
They may encounter strangers, cars, other motor vehicles, and there's not that supervised adult around to help them. And so we do hear of tragic situations with elopement.
Board certified behavior analyst Jamie Johnson tells ARC El Paso that prevention works best when schools and families coordinate closely, especially when a child has a known history of running away.
They can work with the school system and the teachers to help them understand their child. They are the most experienced working and understanding their child. Prevention is key. Accommodations to ensure that the elopement does not happen is the best chance that we all have of keeping our kids safe.
Johnson says those recommendations can include regular staff training and even role-playing emergencies like fire drills to help students learn how to respond. State guidelines do allow teachers to use restraint in limited ways to keep students safe, even if a child is about to run into challenge is training and support. Here's Union.
At district level, EPISD at district level used to be badly messed up. They're on the right track, and if they can get campus principals and like that to cooperate, to do their job, and actually do the paperwork, things.
We have reached out to EPISD about its policies on elopement, but we did not hear back in time for Mark's report. Well, Jessica, we have Jessica Gonzalez here who's reporting on that story with EPISD and that family that you spoke with today. So Jessica, obviously you only had about a minute and a half, 2 minutes to discuss this. Tell us a little bit more behind this story here, why either the school failed or why wasn't more done to help this boy?
Well, just a complete tragedy, right? And we do have to know, we have not heard from the district other than them confirming who the child was, his identity, and the fact that they are mourning his loss, that they are making support services available for students and staff. Of course, there are still some unanswered questions about, I think everyone, to include the family, right? You just heard they're asking, how did this happen, right? They tell me that they had just had a sit-down meeting with school officials to tell them, you know, what needs Joseph had, that someone needed to be with him at all times. They were told the classroom was supposed to be locked, and so they're questioning, like, how did he unlock the classroom? How did he make it out and was gone missing for an hour? Now, something also to note is that they said this is the third time that he has gone missing from Austin High School. The second time that he went missing, he was gone for about 7 hours. So again, it's something, a behavior that, you know, they say the school was well aware of, that wasn't addressed. Something else that they mentioned is that he was wearing a monitor, a location monitor, that they got through that. Not want to work with the person who they're working with the nonprofit to try and locate the child. So, you know, without being able to hear from the district and just like their explanation, which is again understandable, the fact that they are still investigating what happened, it's kind of hard to tell, you know, what exactly happened. So just a lot of unanswered questions, and the family just really does feel like, you know, the school failed them, unfortunately.
Sure, and you can hear that emotion in that mother's voice. She really does feel like they let them down, but as you're saying, we do need to hear from the school district. Is there an investigation ongoing, or what's next on what
we haven't been told exactly, you know, that's kind of, you know, the assumption that perhaps they are still looking, you know, into what happened. The family tells me that there are video cameras in the classroom. They tell me that the previous incidents where he had gone missing, they weren't given access to those videos. So again, the district could be looking into all of that to see exactly what happened. Again, without us hearing from the district, we don't know exactly. Something else I did want to mention is that the family was also very grateful of the people who stopped on US 54. You know, we've videos of people stopping on the highway, and there was even a driver who was going the opposite way to try and kind of stop traffic because the teen was running across a very busy highway. And today they were very thankful for all of those people who stopped and tried to render aid and try to, you know, avoid this deadly situation. They also say that they're not faulting the driver. You know, they're very forgiving about the driver, and are aware that that person might also been obviously done unintentionally. So just a very sad and tragic situation.
All around for everybody involved.
Yeah.
Well, Jess, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Jessica, thanks
you.
for joining us in studio.